Now then, hello everybody. Welcome to the live stream. It's been a while since I've done one of these lives. I've been in the garden a lot. So welcome 142 people. Thank you for being here. Have we already hit a 69 at Alan Edge? I want to say welcome to everybody. Thank you for our members. Hi, can you give my dad Josh a birthday shout out? Hello, memes. Happy birthday to your dad Josh. Have a lovely, well, what's left of your day, and happy, many happy returns. So happy birthday, Josh. There you go. To Memes Dad. Awesome. A summer baby like myself, but I'm July. Okay, now then, everybody, welcome to the live stream. I'm just going to quickly I want to try and get this up. Now, I'm trying to find the full 2.5 hours interview with Carolyn. So I think I've found it, so just bear with me. I've just not long come in, you see. So we're not going to watch it all. We're going to do some tonight and some tomorrow. Okay, I've got it now. Right, hold on. Let's just get this screen shared so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm not going to have time to do individual hellos, but we're going to be talking about, we're going to be watching little clips of when Carolyn MacCall was at the MPs yesterday. She was in front of the select committee. Now, I think that this is a massive cover up, and I think there's a lot more to come. I'm hoping, I'm hearing rumblings that there is going to be more to come out. Now I'm hearing there's another 3 people, and people that say, I've had a few people say, right, leave him alone now, right? Nothing to see here. It was consensual. Leave him alone. You're a bully. I'm unsubscribing. Well, that's fine. Feel free to unsubscribe, because I'm here for the children, right? And this person, and I think many others in the entertainment industry, have been grooming and God knows what to children. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to keep going until I've finished uncovering whatever I can. Okay, so when I say to you guys, right, I've been looking and I can't find anything else, and I've looked at everything, then I will stop, and then I will make my decision. But I'm not going to stop because a few people, and we're talking about what, 4 maybe, have said, Penny, stop looking now, we don't care. Well, that's fine. Unsubscribe. That's okay. I'm not going to be devastated over it. You know, if you enjoy the content, great. If you don't enjoy the content, then there's other channels. You know, people think that it's going to upset me. You know, I've just got to keep going. I need to do this. I'm a mother of an 8-year-old boy, and I'm not going to lie, I've been quite affected by this. One night last week, I had a horrendous nightmare. I can't go into the details, but it was horrific, and it made me think I need to stop. I need to stop because it's affecting me. I sort of picked myself up and I thought, right, I'm going again. All right. So I'm going to keep going. I'm redoing my Simon Schofield video. I've recorded a bit of it this morning, but I'm going to do some more. So bear with me on that one. I am redoing that video, and I'm going to release some more information in that as well. So please, just bear with me. I've been live twice today. So, and I've also got, you know, a family and everything else, so, and animals. So I'm doing my best, but it's going to be tomorrow now when that video comes out. But what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be going over the article a lot more carefully, and I'm going to be revealing a little bit of the solicitor's letter. So it's going to be one, you don't want to miss it. Right. Okay. I'm going to say hello. I can't say hello individually, but I want to say thank you again to our members. Slow mode, maybe put 30 seconds on, James. 20, something like that, 20 seconds. Thank you to our lovely members. I appreciate you so much. No, I wouldn't stop if Phil paid me 1 million. I cannot be bought, I'm afraid. Please hit the like if you enjoy the content, or the dislike if you don't. If you don't, that's okay. Right, I'm not going to be seeing much chat. All right, so because when I'm presenting, I can't see the chat as much. but we do have some amazing mods in the house. And I just want to say thank you, everyone, for your support. 99% of you have been really supportive. And the thing is, when I started covering the Nicola Bulley case, I had a few people that were here from when I was covering Alex Belfield, and they were saying, oh, you shouldn't be covering the Nicola Bulley case. You need to do more Alex Belfield. And now it's, you need to cover more Nicola Bulley case. You shouldn't be doing this. Well, I can't please everybody all of the time. Oh, Anglo-Saxon, thank you so much. My Anglo-Saxon brother from another mother. Thank you, mate. You should join the membership because you're always donating. So you could get the, just thinking, if you're going to donate anyway. Hello, Sid, me bestie, me brummy bestie. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Kate, Jane, all the members, everybody that's coming. And I will be releasing a lot more information on my Simon Schofield video, and I'm going to have to be a bit more careful, guys. Okay, so when I'm reading out the article, I'm not going to be giving opinions. Okay, so just I hope you guys can understand why. Right then, so Carolyn MacCall was there yesterday in front of this select committee. It's got a long name and I forgot what it's called, but there you go. She faced MPs. Now, apparently at the beginning of it, they all most of them declared an interest in ITV, which is very dodgy. So we're going to watch a bit tonight. We're not going to do it all. We're going to do it in 2 hours. We're going to see exactly what's said and we're going to break it down. I think there's a huge cover-up going on, and I believe that these people are lying. I'm sorry, I do. We're going to hear a bit of it, then we're going to hear what Carol McGriffiths had to say last night. So we're not going to listen to the whole thing tonight. We're just going to listen to snippets tonight, and then we're going to get other people's opinions online, and you can let me know in the chat what you think. So welcome, everybody. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. Yes, hello, Rosie. She's new. Welcome, new people. I'm seeing my MP tomorrow, says David G. Hello, Bridget, love. Welcome to our lovely members. I'm seeing my MP tomorrow. Would you like me to raise some of these issues with her, including the solicitor's letters? Not at the moment, David. Not at the moment, please. But thank you for the offer. All right. I not yet, because at the moment, we're going to hit back with this new video and then we're going to wait and see what happens. So I think if anyone's going to go to the MP, it'll probably be my MP. But I do really appreciate that. And I think when we get to the point where I'm going to my MP, I think that is when you can raise the issue. All right. So then, hello, everybody. Welcome in. I don't think it is. I don't think it is a waste of time. So I am catching chat, but I'm not seeing it all. So let's see exactly what was said at the beginning of this.
Start shortly.
The proceedings will start shortly. Okay. We're just waiting.
The proceeding will start shortly.
Okay, love. Sounds like our Lucy, doesn't it? So if I go forward
The
a bit,
proceeding will start shortly.
Here we go. Hang on. Come on.
Because it was really important we had the opportunity to scrutinise that bill in full.
Here she
but
goes.
we did feel it was appropriate to have a separate session to talk about the working.
Okay, we're going to hear what she's got to say now.
And I'm grateful to you all for offering us this opportunity to come in separately. So today we're joined.
Now remember that she weren't going to come. They sent this other guy a couple of weeks ago, and the MP said, "No, we want you. We want the pair of you." Now, why is she a dame? Okay, so what we're going to be doing, we're going to be not tonight, but we are going to be doing a deep dive into this one here. This one's got this one was a Guardian journalist, and the arrogance of these pair is sickening. So why is a QC involved as well? Let's continue.
By Dame Carolyn MacCall, ITV's Chief Executive, alongside Kevin Ligo, Managing Director for Media and Entertainment, and Kyla Mullins, General Counsel and Company Secretary at ITV. You're all very welcome. Before we start with our questions, I thought it might be helpful for me to set out our approach today. Firstly, you'll all, I'm sure, appreciate that since we announced that we were going to do this session, both I and I'm sure members across this committee have been inundated with stories from people about their treatment when working in the media and their concerns. And we clearly don't have the manpower or the resources to investigate every single one of these individual cases. But I just want to put on record how grateful we are to everybody who's been in touch, and
Okay,
assure
look,
them
get
that
on
the
with it,
questions
darling.
that we asked today will have been shortly after we invited Dame Carolyn.
If I ever know, I'll declare it.
Today, so we're just going to move on. Thank you very much. Dame Carolyn,
Was that where they declared their interest? Hold on.
I've accepted hospitality from ITV in the past.
I've been to ITV events over the years,
we
and I'm
go.
a former news anchor.
They're declaring their
for
interest in ITV. They're not
I've
impartial.
accepted hospitality over the years from ITV as well.
Wow.
If we're doing that, I have as well.
Yeah, I went to dinner.
Are you guys
I don't know if I
catching
were going
this?
back, but I'm not sure if I ever know. I'll declare
Sitting here
it.
all day, so we're just going to move on. Thank
They're
you.
declaring their interest in ITV. This is not. Oh, who's just joined the membership? I've missed something. Oh, I've missed it. Oh, thank you, Nadia. Oh, thanks, darling. Did you guys just catch that? They're declaring their interest in ITV. All right. I'm not seeing much chat, guys, because I am in and out. All right. So I don't mean to be rude. All right. So we've now got these people investigating ITV, and they've accepted hospitality. The whole system is corrupt. This is more than just one man. And I believe that Philip Schofield is taking a lot of the brunt for this, because he is saying that he lied. He needs to just tell the truth now and say, hang on a minute, they all knew. And I can't stand the man, what he's done. But I think it goes deeper than him. The whole thing is a cover-up. But anyway, so you've just heard that. They've declared their interest in ITV. They're not impartial. So the whole thing is pointless, in my opinion. But let's just hear what they've got to say. Again, we're not going to listen to it all. We're going to listen to snippets.
Thank you very much. Dame Carolyn, since the story emerged about the relationship between Mr. Schofield and the junior employee on his programme, there has been a very common theme in response to from figures in the entertainment world, including some current and some former presenters on ITV. So, for example, Piers Morgan said, and I quote, "Everybody at ITV knew what was happening." James Haskell said, "I knew about this, everyone knew." Kevin Maguire said, "We had all heard the rumours." Can I just ask you, from your vantage point as the chief executive at ITV, do you class yourself in the category of the vast majority of people who seem to know what was going on, or are you telling us that everyone else knew what was going on, but somehow you and perhaps Holly Willoughby were the only ones who did not know?
Yes, Chair, if you don't mind, I'd just like to say thank you very much for inviting me in here and my colleagues. We've taken these issues extremely seriously, as I hope you know.
Lies.
We're particularly glad that we're talking about duty of care in some
Lies.
detail. We look forward to that,
Not
and our
bad at
culture.
all.
In every company I've ever worked for, and this is my track record, I've put people at the centre. I've always treated people well. Who knew what?
Bullshit.
Another reason for welcoming this is that there are huge numbers of opinions. There's speculation. There's rumours. There's things got really febrile. Social media was awash with,
Truth.
I mean, some extremely nasty comments about Philip, as you'd expect, but
Truth.
also just a whole swathe of things about him as a person and his, just. There was a lot of speculation and rumour out there. So in February 2020...
Actually, the speculation and rumour happened to be true. It turned out to be true. Going back to the Political article from 2022, everything in that was true. And then we get to the Simon Schofield part. But I'm going to be talking about that in my next video. You will hear the first part of the article was talking about the rumours about Philip and Matthew, which has turned out to be true because he admitted it. There's no more allegedly, he admitted it. So going on Politicalite's track record, there's a good chance that the second half is true, that's about Simon Schofield. But anyway, that's in my next video.
Is when Kevin and I spoke about it, and we actually we actually started looking at it in December 2019, but it ramped up considerably. The kind of noise out there ramped up in 2020.
Thanks for being
What
here.
you're
Hit the like,
basically
folks, if you
saying
enjoy
is,
it.
like the
Thank you.
vast majority of people within ITV, you were aware of the rumours about this relationship, but following investigation that you were carried out and the denials that you received from all parties, you were satisfied that the rumours were entirely false. Is that correct?
What I'm saying is that I don't know if it's the vast majority of ITV. You've named three people, I think, high-profile individuals who say they knew. If they knew, why didn't they say something to Kevin? Kevin has conversations with all of those people as talent.
Point, Nicola, good point. So we're going to hear some more of what she's got to say, and then we're going to hear what others thought about this. So we're going to just listen to half of this, bits of it. We're not listening to it all. There's too much. We'll do a part 2 where we'll listen to some more, because I want to get other people's views on what they said, because they think this is a load of bowlocks.
All the time. So
and also, can just say, what about all the people that have died and have been injured by the vaccine? Why isn't this important? Why is this more important than that? This is sickening, right? All these vaccine injured and deaths, and that's been going on now for over 2 years. We are hearing more and more people who are coming forward. There was a lady in yesterday. She's left in a wheelchair from the old prickaroo. Why isn't this being? Why aren't the big pharma and all of the people that were involved in that sat in here explaining their actions? This is a massive distraction, but it is also important because it involves our children. Now they're trying to cover this up. You know, and I know it is. I know this is theatre, but we still have to listen, because this is her going on record lying. We know she's lying, and we have to hold these people to account. But I want to know why this inquiry hasn't happened. A full stop. As why are we still giving these things out when all the other countries have stopped it now? It's banned in Denmark for the under 50s. It's banned. You can't have it, even if you want it. It's sickening. Oh, thank you so much for that. Let me just, thank you. How kind. Thank you, Kimberly. Oh, you're the lady with the paranormal stories, aren't you?
Number one, I don't know if it's the vast majority of ITV people. I don't accept that.
Liar.
It certainly doesn't feel like that to me. Right. The second thing is,
I don't care what
in
it
February
feels like to you.
2020,
It's a
it was
fact.
hard to miss the amount of coverage about Philip when he came out. And therefore, I obviously knew in social media in particular that there was a huge amount of comment about him being gay. How long had he been gay? How long has he lived a lie? You know, there were all sorts of aspersions that crossed over to his brother. There was a lot of very, very horrible stuff out there. And I think we said we need to just establish whether this is rumor and speculation and malicious, or whether there is something we need to worry about here.
And you were given reassurances by both parties that there was nothing to be concerned about.
If it's all right with you, Chair, I'd like Kyla. Now, Kyla is not just company secretary, she also is director. She runs compliance and also whistleblowing in ITV. She's responsible for those.
Whistleblow.
I'd like to just go through the sequence so you can see what we did to try and establish whether anything was going on.
Now, bear in mind that Philip Schofield, what we need to do, folks, what we are going to do, and I need to break down his interviews, you see, because there's so much that we've missed. And I think we need to be breaking this down. We need to go and break down Philip's interviews with the BBC and with The Sun, all right? Because he said in his interviews that nobody asked him. He said nobody asked him. So which one is lying, right? Philip, I'm hoping, and I'm not sticking up for him because I don't like him, but I'm hoping that he throws these lot under the bus, because they enabled this to happen. They enabled this. Thank you for coming in. I'm sorry I'm missing people, but I'm focusing on this at the moment. So I'm just catching the odd bit of chat. I'm not ignoring you all, but thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate every single one of you. You could be anywhere right now and you're with us, so thank you.
Going on. Kyla.
Certainly.
So we first really became aware that of speculation and social media speculation, which was triggered by a newspaper article on the 6th of December 2019. And in that article, there was a reference. It was an article with many allegations and a lot of commentary about This Morning and about the relationship between Phil and Holly, and other presenters on that. But also there was a reference to a Philip's PA and personal runner moving to a different program despite a previous close friendship with him. Those were the words. And there was a huge amount of media speculation. Our head of daytime and our head of production on that day spoke to Person X because he was being inundated by press, by journalists contacting him, was aware of social media. And they asked the question at that stage, is there any truth in this? Is there anything that we need to know about a relationship with Philip Schofield? And the answer was a categorical no. He was traumatized by the intrusion in his personal life, and our focus at that point then moved swiftly to duty of care for.
They're talking about Matthew. Now, the thing is here, they're saying that they asked him, right? Now, I'm sorry, but even from the little snippets that I've uploaded as short, you can tell there's something going on. And these people were working with them every single day. Every single day, they could see what was going on. Everybody knew. Now, she's just told a little lie there because she's just said that a newspaper article came out in December 2019. Now, the NTAs were in January, weren't they? In 2020. Can someone just confirm that for me? Now, with Matthew, regarding Matthew McGreevy, surely it's a conflict of interest because Philip is paying for his lawyers to manage this whole situation. He's sending his own lawyers for Matthew. How is that right? Now, if you're going through a divorce, you both don't use the same divorce lawyer, do you? Because it's a conflict of interest. It doesn't make any sense. He is paying for Matthew's lawyer, and it's the same lawyer and the same team that are coming after me, but that will be revealed in my next video. Okay, it's dodgy as.
For him and trying to make sure that we could support him in whatever ways were appropriate to handle the social media intrusion on his life.
Yes, I'm hearing that the lawyers are doing it for free now. All right, I know that, but it's still the same people. They are working for free now. The only reason why they're working for free now is because Philip's told everybody that he was paying for it, which makes it look even worse. So then the lawyers have said, right, okay, we'll do it free. It's all a big scam. All right. Of course, they're not actually doing it for free. They've had to. Phil said, say you're doing it for free. They're all corrupt. They're all covering each other up. They say they're doing it for free, but yet just last week or the week before, Philip said that he was paying for Matthew's lawyers. So then when people are saying, hang on a minute, why are you paying for his lawyers? Oh, well, they're doing it for free now. Really? Really? Yeah, of course you are. Now he's already give you a big lump sum. Now you're classed as doing it for free. But there's backhanders going on. But they weren't doing it for free 2 weeks ago. Every single time Philip cocks up and says something that he shouldn't be saying and people pull him to task, he's then backtracking and saying they're doing it for free. Well, why did you tell us you were paying for it a couple of weeks ago? They've had to say that because now people are questioning why he's paying for Matthew's lawyers. Matthew shouldn't even have the same lawyers as Philip. And you can disagree with me, guys. That's fine. You can disagree with whatever I'm saying. As long as we do it politely, we can disagree. But I'm passionate about this because, some of you may or may not know, but stuff happened to me as a child as well, right? So this is another reason why I'm so passionate about this. I am deeply, deeply protective of our children. I have a son. and I've been through stuff as a child myself, and I will keep fighting for the truth for our children. This is going way deeper than one relationship, way deeper. All right, I found another 2 names of 2 more boys that I'm not going to release, and apparently there's another 3. And if they're contacting little old YouTubers like me, right, sending these letters, which I'm going to go through in my next video, can you imagine what the bigger people are getting? The bigger people. Now, Eamonn's gone quiet all of a sudden. Now, they're all gone quiet because they've probably all had these letters. Anyway, I'm going to keep going, but yeah, so I know people will disagree, and that's fine. We're not one of these channels where you have to live in an echo chamber, okay? I've been hearing from people who know Matthew, and they're saying that he is going to be selling his story. I don't think he will. I don't know, okay? It's all very seedy, and he did come out and defend him a few weeks ago. He came out and defended him and said that Philip didn't groom him. But you are going to say that if you've been groomed, aren't you? And the thing is, people say to me, oh, it's 2 consenting adults. Well, first of all, he knew him when he was underage, and 2, if you're one of the most popular people on daytime television, right, and you've got a young lad who is in awe of you, the imbalance of power there, is it really consensual? You're being completely brainwashed, aren't you? Let's just say, if I met somebody who I was, one of my idols, yeah, and I would probably just fall apart and go all weak at the knees as well. And I'm a grown up. Can you imagine if you're a teenager and you meet your idol and somebody that you've always liked, Anyway, have we got trolls coming in, have we?
Conversations with him continued in January.
You're in the wrong channel if you enable groomers, I'm afraid.
Again, the focus on duty of care, but also asking the question each time. So we had HR involvement by this stage. The head of production, who has continued having dialogue with Person X over the last 3 years at intervals. Person X and our head of HR for daytime spoke to him on many occasions, focusing on his welfare, but also using the opportunity.
He was married, and that's another thing, right? That is another thing that pisses me off, is that he was married. Now, this is what I was trying to explain in one of my videos. If Phil was out as gay, which isn't a problem, and then he was spending time with this younger lad, people would have been asking more questions. But because he's pretending to be straight and married, people wouldn't ask questions. Now, if a married straight man was spending time with a younger girl, people would be asking questions. Because he paraded as straight, then spending time with a younger lad, people wouldn't question it because you're not attracted to the same sex. Do you see what I'm saying? And this is what gets me, is that because he was pretending to be straight, he was covering up spending time with young lads, because I'm straight, so why is that a problem? But if it was young girls, there'd be a problem. So now he's out. If he was spending time with young lads, people will be asking more questions. And this is the entire thing is dodgy as, and I don't care if I get called homophobic, and I don't care if I get said, oh well, you're a bully. No, I'm not a fucking bully. These children and these young people are being groomed, and we should all be angry about this. And if you support Philip Schofield, then you're in the wrong channel, right? You are in the wrong channel. So it's up to you if you want to stay, but I do not enable groomers.
Ask the questions. I think he was asked the question 12 times, and we have logs of the conversations that were had with him. At each stage, he categorically denied it. When Philip came out on the 7th of February, I believe it was, in 2020, again, a spike in social media commentary. And again, there were meetings with Person X and questions with him. In parallel at that stage, serious conversations with Philip Schofield and his agent, very direct conversations with his agent, and that was Kevin who can talk to those, also our head of daytime and our editor in daytime. So at each stage, we had various levels of management asking questions of both individuals, also a Philip's agent. And
What's this? What's this shit? Is this Pride? Have they now got Pride lanyards? You couldn't make this shit up, folks. What's this about? What?
in addition, as Carolyn has mentioned, there were various conversations with people on the production floor. Our head of production asked people working on both This Morning and Loose Woman, who might have been closer to Person X, to try and establish, were there any facts? Were they aware of any truth in this matter? And the answer at each stage was no. So we conducted all of those conversations at that time. No one came forward with any evidence. Straightforward, categorical denials each time it was asked. And conversations continued also in May this year, right up to the day when Philip finally admitted that he'd been lying to us. And at each stage, denials. So Kevin, I don't know if you want to touch
Yes,
on
I went to Diphas now. I think when Philip decided he wanted to come out, the agents and Philip's contacted the head of daytime and the producer of the program, and he said, I've been thinking about this for a long time, I want to come out on air. And so that was discussed. And then I think when they'd had that discussion, I was called about it saying, there's going to be a big thing tomorrow. What do you think? I said, well, if that's what he wants to do, okay. Philip presents the program Monday to Thursdays. He doesn't do it Friday. So this was on the Thursday, and he came out the next day when he didn't have to.
You hear the lies. Now, when you're lying, you go into a lot of detail. Like, he's over-explaining. We know that filthy Phil, presents on a Monday to Thursday, and it was on a Monday, and it was on a Thursday. No, Thursday was playtime, remember? Was playtime with his mates. So you can hear the over-explaining, the lies.
Have to then sort of present the entire program. So he just did it on a show that he wasn't presenting that day. So I went down the next morning to the studio to see Philip, to see how he was and everything. And there were various people around, and we discussed, was he sure? He was really agitated and nervous. And I remember saying to him, look, you don't have to do this now if you don't want to. You don't have to do it on TV if you don't want to. He said, no, this is absolutely the way I want to do it. I've been thinking.
He knew he had to do it because the papers had the story ready to go with Matthew's story. They were going to blow the lid because at the NTAs, Matthew declared his love publicly in front of everybody, including Dan Wootton, who was there, for Philip, and he got thrown out. And there's photos of him trying to get back in, going up to Holly, and we meant to believe none of this happened. They treat us like absolute morons. And again, people say this isn't important. I know it's theatre and I know it's a distraction, but they don't expect people to actually break this down. All right. They don't think anyone's going to sit here like me and break this down. It needs to be done, guys. Okay. It has to be done. And I'm sorry if people don't like it, but this has got to be done. He is lying, and this is on record now. He's lying.
Thinking about this isn't a.
And these are under oath as well, remember? Well, the equivalent of being under oath.
Sudden decision. I've been talking about this with my family. It's just the moment now I want to do it. So I said, okay. Then there was a moment when we were alone, and I said, look, Philip, don't worry about ITV supporting you through this. It's fine by us if you want to do this. Is there anything that you want to tell me now? Is there anything we should know that has prompted this, or that you want to share with us now? Because it's fine, but we just don't want suddenly tomorrow or the next day to hear something we didn't know about and be blindsided by it. And he absolutely, categorically said, no, there's nothing. This is just a private matter, and I want to get it out there because I've been thinking about it for so long. So that was it, really.
So from what you're saying, I mean, it sounds like it sounds to me like you regard the efforts that you went to chase this up as being adequate. And I mean, I'm not going to put words in your mouth. Did you think that they were adequate? Do you think that they were competent?
What we think about this is that, just remember, there's another very important bit of the timeline, which is on March 2018, all ITV employees were sent home because lockdown started. And so this was very close onto March 2018.
Did you just say March 2018 that lockdown started? Did I just hear that right? Do they even know what fucking day it is? They're literally, they're so lying, they're mumbling up their words and getting years wrong. That's what she just said, didn't she? Or am I hearing things? I'm starting to question my own sanity right now. What was that? Let's just hear that again.
Do you think that they were competent?
What we think about this is that, just remember, there's another very important bit of the timeline, which is on March 2018. All ITV employees were sent home because lockdown started.
The lockdown started in 2018. You can't even tell the truth at something simple as when lockdown started. If you can't tell the truth about that, then you've lost any credibility that anybody gave you, because you don't even know what fucking year it is.
So this was very close onto.
Why is no one questioning that?
March 2020, did I say 2018? March 2020.
Yes, you did say 2018.
So it's just quite important that, because then this all stopped, because there was no one was at work, and actually Person X was put on furlough for 9 months. So it's just an important thing. And over that time.
So what has that got to do with the price of fish? What has lockdown got to do with anything? Can you see what they're doing here? They're going to try and blame it on the COVID. That's what they do. Okay. They're dropping that into your mind so that you're thinking about the plague. Right. And you're thinking, okay, so that, you know, they will drop Russia in, Russia, and the plague. It's the same old chestnut. Let's drop Russia. I'm waiting for Russia to come in here, but they'll drop the plague in because they're dropping these little things into your mind, because it's the grand excuse. There is no reason for her to mention lockdown. It's got absolutely nothing to do with anything. So it's okay to groom as long as it's during lockdown. Fuck off. Sorry for the language tonight, guys, but this is making me piss boil. Sorry for swearing. I never use that word, but it is my wee.
Our head of production had duty of care conversations with him, but nothing else. So it's just important in terms of the process we went through that it stopped in March for reasons of lockdown.
Yes.
What we would say is that
lockdown's fault.
We had done, we feel, from a process perspective, but also from a human perspective. We asked multiple times of both individuals, both formally and informally. And so we felt that was proportionate to what we had, because we had no evidence. No one brought us.
So we never asked, right, so we asked them, and then lockdown happened and we had no evidence. So them, according to witnesses like Dan Wootton, Eamonn Holmes, there was many others have said that they would disappear, they were glued together, and they would go off into his dressing room. And this show reel, how much does that cost to make? It costs a lot of money. No one gets a show reel made. This man had so much power over the entire production team. Jason Gardner, yeah, we are going to hear we're going to hear what other people have said, but honestly, we need to hold these people to account, because there is something bigger going on here, right? And they're trying to hide all this. But yeah, Jason Gardner, he did a good piece last night on Dan Wootton, so we're going to hear that as well. So we're going to hear a little bit more from her, and then we're going to hear some other people's points of view, and then we're going to hear the rest of this. I was going to do a paranormal phone-in tomorrow night, but I might do this part 2 to this tomorrow night, and we'll do the paranormal phone-in on Saturday, we'll see how we get on. Okay, we're going to hear a little bit more from her. Okay, apologies for having to look at that and listen to that, because she's just horrible. I'm sorry. She's a liar, and she's extremely woke as well. So she's very, very woke. She's from The Guardian, for
us anything tangible, either on the production floor or from the outside. There was only hearsay and rumor and speculation. The other thing we would say is that we were very, very concerned about the state of mind of both Philip and Person X. So Philip was not in a good state, as Kevin will tell you.
Hold on a minute. That you were concerned about the state of mind, but you've just said that nothing was going on according to you. So why would you be concerned about the state of mind if you reckon that your investigation concluded that nothing could happen, right? So I said this to my husband the other day. It's like me going into the bathroom and there's paint handprints all over the walls, and I look at my son who's got paint on his hands and say, "Did you do that?" "No." "Okay, then I've concluded my investigation, you're innocent." This is how stupid this is. This is how ridiculous. That is not an investigation. Did you do something with that boy? "No." "Right, okay, full. You're fine. Investigation over. Bollocks.
When he came out, very anxious, very worried, very nervous, very
nervous,
worried about the social media backlash, all of those things.
Looking to the
And
right.
Person
Your
X
eyes.
could not really grasp the media intrusion that was so prevalent in his life now. And so we had to balance how we asked questions, and we did ask them formally. There were meetings, HR was present. So we did a balance of...
Okay, where's the minutes of the meetings? If these were formal meetings where you interviewed Matthew, where are the minutes to these meetings? Produce them, show them. Because if you'd done a formal meeting, there'd be paperwork following it up. Where's the paperwork? There isn't any, because it didn't happen.
Informal kind of, is there anything we need to know? How can we help you?
So arrogant,
to Person X, how can we help you? What more do we need to know? You can do this confidentially, you can do this anonymously, you can talk to a counsellor, just because we wanted to make it easier for him, because you're not used to being...
No, it came out in February and lockdown started in the March, but there is no record. You're in front of the MPs now. Bring your paperwork with you. Where's the paper trail? Anyone can just say we did an investigation. So where's the HR paperwork to say that if this was a real investigation, be like, okay, this person has denied this affair, and the thing again, it's the imbalance of power, and people don't seem to get this. Oh, the 2% adults. This is one of the most famous people in the UK. Everyone knows who Philip Schofield is. With this young lad, and it's just absolutely ludicrous, and the arrogance of this woman and him. Like, where's the other guy, that Martin Fritzl? Where's he with his aubergine comment? Like, why isn't he there? And we're going to get on to where she goes in at Eamonn and Dan. Now, she doesn't name them, but it's utterly disgusting what she says. But we'll get on to that in a moment.
As often, or in social media, when you're in that position. So we were, very mindful of our kind of duty of care obligations, but just as a human being, not making what was a very difficult situation for Person X, and actually also Philip, worse.
It sounds to me as if you're saying that the investigation was thorough and the decisions that you made were well-founded.
Prove it.
Chair, can I please just say it was not an investigation? I wouldn't qualify this as an investigation. I think this was a review. It was an ongoing...
Oh, it's not an investigation now. And yet, what was their statement that came on? What was their statement? Do you remember their statement when Philip told the truth? We did an investigation. ITV made a statement saying that they did an investigation, and now she's saying it wasn't an investigation. They are forgetting their own words. They are literally forgetting what they've just said. So it wasn't an investigation. So what was it then? Because you called it investigation before, now it's not one. Where's the HR records? We all need to bombard this woman, right? Is she on Twitter? Does anyone know if she's on Twitter? Because I think we need to start tweeting this bird, and we're going to ask them. Yeah, it's gone from an investigation to we need to go and tweet this bird. All right, not harass her. I'm not talking about harassing her because people will say I'm inciting harassment. But I genuinely want to know, where's the paperwork? I will believe you if you show some proof, and not something you've just typed up now either. We need to ask the question, and I don't mean bully her and bombard her before the trolls start. I don't mean that. But we need to tweet her and ask her, where's the paperwork? I'm going to do that. I'm going to ask her. Hashtag, where's the paperwork? Let's get this trending on Twitter.
Going review that every time there were periods of intense speculation, we went in and asked more questions, but it was an ongoing review.
It's a review.
Would the assertion then leading from that be that if you could go back in time and do it all again, you'd do it exactly the same way and you would probably have reached the same conclusion?
I think that if we had our time again, let's see, I'm not hiding behind the KC, but let's see what the KC says, because that's one of the things we want to learn, which is there anything that we could have done or spotted? At the moment, we can't see what that is, because we did interview both individuals, as I've said, but also other people. We have a very, very clear and loud speaking up policy. We really do.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the vast majority of people, when they reply to surveys that we do on this, say that they feel confident that we will act if they speak.
Where's the survey? Show us the surveys of when you asked people what they thought about working at ITV daytime. Where's the paperwork? Why haven't you brought it with you? If this person was telling the truth, she would turn up there with a load of paperwork, right? You would have it all. She's just, I don't believe a word she's saying. We want to see the paperwork. We want to see the proof. I'm going to go and tweet her after. Does anyone know whether she's got a Twitter? Can anyone have a look for me, please? Because I don't use it much. I've been trying to use it a little bit more. I've never been big on Twitter, but, you know, he does need to speak out, Willow Tree. And Matthew has said that poor Matthew, right? I feel so sorry for this dude. He came out a couple of weeks ago. He spoke out and said that Phil didn't groom him and that he still looks up to him. And it's heartbreaking. My heart is breaking for Matthew. Honestly, I wish I could just give him a massive hug, even though he's a lot bigger than me because I'm so small. I just wish I could give Matthew a massive hug. That's how I feel. I can't help how I feel, but it's heartbreaking for him. It's heartbreaking.
That comes from a tangible, quantitative survey. So we have done, and we can talk about our speak up policy later, our whistleblowing policy. So anybody at any time could have confidentially gone to our helpline, Safe Call. It's completely anonymous. It's run by an external company. They could have at any time said something about this. We had none of that. So therefore, we feel in the circumstances and with what we had, that we had no legal reasons to go any further with an investigation. If we'd had any evidence, we would have done a formal investigation. We had no evidence. There was absolutely, it's not in our interest in any way not to investigate something that we know has evidence to support it. You know, put it another way, had we gone into, with no legal reason, into a formal investigation, we would have caused a huge amount of damage, I think. The mental health issues around, you know, the strain, instead of mental health issues, let me just say the psychological strain.
And Matthew is a twin. Matthew's twin sister is a copper. And this is just so much dodginess going on here, because Matthew's twin is a copper. Philip's brother, he wasn't a copper, but he worked for the police, right? So you've got somebody working in IT for the police. So he would have had access to all these records and all these things, right? Which I find rather suspicious that you've got someone like him. Now, what sort of data It was apparently data entry IT for the cops. Now, what sort of data was the brother? What did he have access to? This is what I'm saying. There seems to be a lot of police involvement here. Is that just a coincidence that his sister is a police officer, a serving police officer? There seems to be a lot of coincidences. Matthew has got several siblings and a twin. Why did he? Apparently, he did a GoFundMe for. He wanted £500 to move to London. Why did Matthew have to fundraise £500 via a GoFundMe to move to London when Filthy Phil was literally paying him everything? You know, but there's more to this. There is so much more to this. And people, I know some people have said leave it alone now. Well, no, not yet. If you want me to continue, let me know. Now, if you guys say, Pen, we've had enough now, I will stop on YouTube. I'll still keep investigating for myself, but I'll stop on YouTube. So I will do what you want me to do on this channel. If you want me to keep going, I will. Now, about 4 people have said don't go anymore. Okay, and they're upset because of Jason Donovan. I love Jason Donovan. I went to see Jason Donovan live. I went to see Jason Donovan live. I went to see Kylie Minogue live, and I went to see them both together live. I love Jason Donovan, but I've got some insider information on Jason Donovan, and I will make a video on it. But I have inside information on Jason Donovan, which is really, really interesting. I only found it out today, but it's very interesting. It'll be an exclusive on my deep dive into Jason Donovan and him. I've got an exclusive for you all that you will not hear anywhere else. Okay, now, not done anything wrong. Jason has not done anything wrong, but he was gay. All right. And it's a fact. And I'm going to tell you how I know this, but I'm going to do it in a video. All right. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with Jason Donovan doing that. But again, it's the lies. Why do they keep lying? Stop lying and marrying people. And it's, you know, and why do they cover it up? Why? It's 2023. There is nothing to be ashamed of. It's actually really cool to be gay right now, right? It's not like it's shameful anymore. I think straight people are starting to feel a bit left out. You know, it's nothing wrong with being gay, but it's the lies. Anyway, I asked, he said no, game over. Exactly, Nikki. It's one way of putting it. Here we go. You've all seen the spitting image as well. That it was common knowledge back then.
On person X, etc., would have been quite intense.
Poor Matthew
and so we didn't have any
X.
legal grounds to do that.
Fucking hell.
As far as you're concerned, there's no circumstances under which you could possibly have inadvertently or purposefully turned a blind eye to some serious shortcomings at This Morning because it was an incredibly commercially successful program.
It's nothing to do with it being commercially successful. It really, really isn't. I mean, all our shows are actually commercially successful. You could say that about every single one of our shows. There's not a show in ITV.
The volume up for me or for her. I've got her as loud as I can go. I can turn the volume on my microphone if you need me to. Just let me know. I can't turn her up anymore. She's as loud as she can go, guys.
Because we're a commercial PSB that is unsuccessful. So you say that, but it is nothing to do with commercial success. It is entirely to do with how we were trying to look after people, but we were also trying to ask, and we did ask questions repeatedly, continuously, and were repeatedly told there was nothing happening. And I also said that as we see it today, our understanding and our information so far is that we could not have done this differently, But if the KC does say and recommend that in future we should do any aspects differently, we will listen, we will learn, and we will act. But today, and there were nobody would be turning a blind eye to something. It's not a blind eye. I mean, nobody here or on the management board would ever turn a blind eye to something as serious as this.
The only thing I would say in response to that is surely you're aware that the same imbalance of power that enabled Mr. Schofield to enter into this, what he called inappropriate relationship, would also be in play if he was seeking to keep that relationship secret. So you need to ensure that you've got in place the systems and processes that are somehow able to find a way around that.
So let us tell you what our systems and processes are to ensure that that doesn't happen. And perhaps you could talk about speaking up. And
what's quiet? Is my microphone quiet? I have got. I could do with a new one. This one's okay, but I could. Now we're going to get. We've got more people in the chat. I need a better one, so I am going to try and save up for a decent one. That a really good one. I have managed to get myself a little desk as well, so I'm going to create my own little area where I can go on camera. So I'll be on camera and I'll be sat at the desk. At the moment, I'm sat on my bed. I'm constantly having to move around. My back's really bad. So I feel more comfortable not on camera. But I will be going on camera soon. Okay. Sound is sound. Okay. Some people couldn't. Someone said they couldn't hear me. No, you can hear fine. Okay. Right. Okay. Then let's hear a little bit more.
And safeguarding policies.
We'll come to that later on. Actually, we've got a few other questions we want to get to.
Oh, my back is killing me from sitting out.
Yeah, just very briefly, I listened to those answers. We as a committee are very concerned about the welfare of the individuals that are involved here, in particular Philip Schofield, but most of all, Person X. So could you tell us what support you're giving to them at this moment in time and whether that will continue into the future?
Yes, we've remained in touch with Philip, as you'd expect, and he is receiving counselling. We're just saying that Philip is just receiving counselling, and which ITV are funding. And that he asked for that, and we're very happy to do that. With Person X, there's a whole series of duty of care all the way through. I mean, even though he left the company in 2021, we have constantly given him aspects of duty of care as recently as last week.
Yeah, and I bet he's having some nice fat payments as well.
So the
why are they still in contact with someone who left 2 years ago? He left 2 years ago. You couldn't make this shit up. He left 2 years ago, and they're still in touch with him. See, this is just utter bullshit. Now, why isn't anybody else getting this support? You're going to hear from others soon. Well, the chair you get with it isn't much, but I haven't got much room for a big chair. But my back I can't sit outside again for a few days. I've been sat outside on the floor and I'm in agony now. I can barely move, so I need to get a lounger or something.
Who was involved in having the initial conversations with him, has been continuing those conversations with him throughout, is in contact with him, not on a daily basis at the moment, but on a regular basis at the moment. We have offered him an ongoing package of support, including counselling. We have given some support when there was media intrusion, physical media intrusion at his parents' home and also in his workplace. We offered support around that, and we've been offering support and trying to help him manage.
There's something weird going on with Matthew McGreevy. All right, now bear with me. Now I fully support him. Like I say, I want to give him a big hug. But listen to this, right? I'm going to give you a little bit of an exclusive now. All right, I've had somebody get in contact with me who is I've got to be careful how I word this because I don't want to give them away. And I've told them that their anonymity, is that the right word, will be protected. But somebody has been in contact with me who knows the pub where Matthew was working. All right. I don't want to give too much away, but listen to this, folks. He was only there for a few months. He left about a month ago. Matthew did, just before this shit came out, about a week before this came out about him, he left. Now, the article in Political Light said that he was working there, and the lady who is photographed with was the bar manager, whatever you want to call it, the landlady. I have had someone contact me saying that's not true. Matthew was the landlord to that pub, and the lady who is photographed with took over when he left, and that was the photo of them together. And she came in, they did a bit together, and then he went. Now, I've also been told that the Sun newspaper and other media outlets were sat in that pub for weeks and weeks and weeks before this all hit the news with him. And it seems to me that Matthew has been placed in that pub so that when the shit hit the fan, they could just say, oh, look, he's gone to work in a pub. Because I found evidence online that Matthew has never left that industry. He's never left TV. He's still been working in TV. So how can he be working for TV and running a pub? There's something not adding up here. And I'm not blaming him for anything, okay? I'm just saying something is sounding wrong, okay? So what exactly is going on? Now, why was he at that pub, and why were the Sun newspaper and other newspapers sat there drinking all day for months on end with him, and then he just disappears again? It's like they wanted to place him in the pub so that when all this came out, they could say, oh, look, he works in the pub now. He's left the industry. If you look at his CV, the guy is working in the TV industry still. You can't run a pub and be working in the TV industry. There's something not right here. I can't put my finger on it, but it doesn't add up. And why is he so quiet as well? I don't know, Shelley. Something's not right here. And the person who got in contact with me was quite shocked that this guy just left. He up and left. A week before this came out, he just vanished. And apparently he's a lovely, lovely guy. He was very popular with the locals in the pub, and they all really miss him. But he wasn't there for long. He was only there for a few months. It's really bizarre, but I've got to be careful because this person does not want anybody finding out that he's come to me, because it is one of these little villages where everyone knows everyone's business. So I've got to protect him. So I'm not going to say even if it was a local or not. I'm not going to say anything. All right. So let's just hear what more bullshit she comes out with. She starts to go at Eamonn. She doesn't mention his name, I don't think. I caught bits of it yesterday. But she starts going at Eamonn, saying that people were just like disgruntled. She is the epitome of arrogance, this woman. She really is. And this one, is this their HR bird or something? Something like that.
Takedowns and social media. So there is a package of support, and that is ongoing. We're in discussion with him last time a couple of days ago.
A package of support, money.
We've seen reported, as you've written to us, saying that he doesn't want to speak, he doesn't want any publicity around this, and he wants it really to die and go away.
It's not going to go away.
Understand. But if he wanted to speak out, you're not aware of any impediment to prevent him from doing so?
There's no impediment. There are no NDAs, gagging orders. There is nothing in place from our perspective that would stop him speaking out. When he left ITV, he entered into a standard settlement agreement. There is a clear carve-out in that, which makes it very clear that for whistleblowing, speaking up, there is nothing that would prevent him from doing so.
Thank you.
You share concerns that Philip Schofield's being hounded like Caroline Flack?
I can't. I don't want to I don't want to make those comparisons, although I would say I think he has been hounded, and I think he said himself that he has nothing really. If it wasn't for his daughters, he wouldn't be alive. He said that publicly.
And are you personally, individually concerned for his welfare?
I'm very concerned, yes. Look, I spoke to him the day before, just because I knew that him standing down from this morning was a pretty major thing.
Who has a settlement agreement when they leave their job? Especially at his age, what, 22, 23? You know, none of it makes any sense, does it really? It's all bullshit. Hello, everyone coming in. I'm missing a lot of chat. Sorry, because I'm doing this.
In his life. I actually phoned him and just said, look, you know, I know this is very difficult. And, you know, Kevin has offered you further work. So, you know, please don't feel awful about it. There is more, you know, and he was really grateful that I'd called him. He said, look, this means so much to me. I didn't know he was going to say on Friday that he had lied to us and that he had hidden this for so long. But no, we have been concerned about Philip, and we've been extremely concerned about Person X because the level of intrusion in his life is unbelievably awful.
Have you individually spoken to either of them since that?
I've never spoken to Person X. If you just for the, I just it wouldn't be something.
Sorry, did she just say she's been on the phone to him and then she's just said I've never spoken to Person X? What am I hearing things? Did she just say I spoke to him just last week and checked he was okay and he was really grateful, and then she's just said I've never spoken to Person X? So which is it? Does she just keep on like? Is this woman on drugs or something? I'm sure she spoke to her. No, because she was talking about Matthew. She said Matthew left in 2021. So you're saying she spoke to Phil? I'm confused now. I know he has a name.
Something that I would do, but I have spoken to Philip, as I've just said.
Right, so she spoke.
Have you spoken to Philip
right.
since he admitted that he lied about this relationship?
He just sent me a text saying how deeply, deeply sorry he is for lying to ITV and to his family, and for how much, you know, has been caused by it.
I did speak to him. Rather like Carolyn, I spoke to him when he wanted to step down from this morning. I think it was the daily, you know, effort of doing a show for 2 hours live every day was the thing that made him think, there's too much noise and I don't want to do it.
Sorry, there was too much effort doing a show every day for 2 hours, which is why he left. What?
And I said, sorry, is that all right? And we said, well, if you want to step down, you can step down. And we did talk about, because there was another show coming up a couple of weeks later, the Soap Awards, that he was booked to present. And I said, are you still okay to do the Soap Awards? Do you want to do that? He said, yes, absolutely. Dancing on Ice is the only other show he does for us, which is in January, once a week show. And he asked about that. And we said, well, don't worry about that now. That's so far away. We can deal with that later, but don't worry. And I think on the record, I said he would be continuing to work with us. And then, and I can't remember if I actually asked him that conversation, but there isn't anything, is there, Philip? And he said, but he would have said, no, there wasn't. I mean, it was just 3 or 4 days before he said, actually, sorry, I've been lying all the time. He looked me in the eye and promised me that there was absolutely no truth whatsoever in the rumours of this relationship. And because it was corroborated, I suppose, by Person X, and there had been, through the whole of this, have been no complaints as such from certainly anybody in ITV about it. Obviously, there were rumours and things. I believed him, and I believed his agents and everyone. And then 2 days later, everybody comes out and says, no, it's a lie.
It is important to talk about how many times you spoke to the agent, or that the head of daytime spoke to the agent. So a lot of conversations were had with Philip's agent about this whole issue.
Yeah, many more than with Philip himself. So you can be a lot more direct, obviously, with the agent. And the agent, because the agency handles quite a lot of clients on ITV, we talked to them a lot, and they were consistently adamant that these rumours and more kind of, what should we do to make them go away? Can we take legal action? What can we do? And discussions like that. But absolutely.
Ruth put a complaint in, Dan Wotton, loads of people have come forward who put complaints in and nothing was done. But we're going to hear that in a moment. We're going to hear from some of the people who put the complaints in, who have said that this is utter tosh.
Categorical denial. Of course, it's not true. No, no, Phillips, definitely not. No. And so we didn't pursue that with them. and then later, of course, they said he had been lying to them for 20 years, whatever it was.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everybody. And Dame Carolyn, do you ever find yourself asking yourself the existential question, why am I here?
I'm not as deeply philosophical as that, Mr. Brennan.
Because
I'm not sure where that question is going. So all I would say is that I am here because I believe in public service broadcasting and I believe in ITV, and I think what we do is
It's funny because you didn't want to be there before, did you, love?
incredible public service, but it's also entertaining, and we do massive amount of news. We do regional news better than anybody else. And we're very proud of what we do, and that's why I'm here. I mean,
you left off that list and the glory of our parliamentary democracy as well. You believe in
and
as well,
we
presumably.
support through our news in particular our democracy.
Because I can't remember
one-sided
in the 22 years that I've been a member of Parliament ignoring more phone calls and messages from journalists on any subject than this. Why do you think that is?
I think that we produce a huge range of programs. We have a huge amount of talent. I think the BBC get the same as we do. So whenever anything is going on at the BBC, it tends to dominate the news agenda. I think whenever anything is happening at ITV, I mean, we're on the news pages for many reasons other than this, i.e. for our entertainment shows. I mean, we will do a big entertainment show like I'm a Celebrity. We'll be on front pages every day of the papers. So I think that's it. That is, Mr. Brennan, though, I think that is because the BBC and ITV are part of British culture, society,
and on
life.
that point, what I was going to say is that this is all very interesting. Is that the whole thing is fascinating, and of interest the public. But I'm struggling, or am I wrong in struggling, to try and identify how this is all in the public interest, that we need to know all of this, and there are serious issues obviously underlying all this. So I don't want to trivialize it, but why is all of this in the public interest, do you think?
As a PS, I feel that I'm here. I mean, if I was, if we weren't a PSB, I don't think I'd be sitting in front of you. I think if I was, I'm not sure I would be. I don't know. I mean,
are they a public service broadcaster? That's the BBC, isn't it? They're a company. They're a private company.
I think as a PSB, you will want to hear what we've done and how we've done it.
Yes,
and I understand that. And as I said, I welcomed that because I wanted very much to put some facts clearly down. And I also wanted you to understand how seriously we take things, but also how much we care about the people that work at ITV. This is a vibrant, creative, proud organization. And what has been said, from the outside often, or from people who are no longer at ITV, people feel very deeply about that at ITV. No one feels at ITV. The vast majority of people at ITV feel that they are, they're looked after. That we have.
Prove it. Show us these surveys that you were putting out. You said you were putting surveys out. Where are they? There's nothing, zilch, nada, that she is showing us to back anything up.
Have many different ways that they can tell us their feedback and their input. It doesn't always have to be a complaint. It can just be about, I'm not getting flexibility at work and I need some help. It could be a whole range of different things, but we do listen, and we have so many different ways of listening. So I can't really answer why you got me here. I can say why I am here.
And I accept that's not your role, because we invited you after all. But what were the policies and procedures in place in ITV for incidents of this type at the time of the initial investigations into these rumours surrounding Phillips?
That's where I was getting. So
remember, there's no investigation.
Would you just go through our, what we do?
So our policies and procedures, although obviously they're updated regularly, whether it's to take account of new regulation, Ofcom guidance, but also best practice. So clearly our policies and practices.
Remember, in 2020, guys, the UK government gave the media £32 billion. They gave them a backhander, because if it wasn't for the government propping up ITV, BBC, Channel 4 and all of them, they would have all gone under, because no one needs them anymore. You don't need to watch the main TV. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch Netflix. You don't need the 5 main channels. And the government needed the propaganda mouthpiece during the 2020 to push out their lockdown bullshit. So they gave the media 32 billion for a 3-year plan. And in return, they ended up having to push the plague bullshit. That's just a fact. The government gave them 32 billion pound. They do get money. Now, if you don't watch the BBC, you've still got to pay your TV license. If you watch ITV, they do get bits from it.
Stand today will be slightly different to those that were in place in 2019.
So how have they changed?
But not a lot. For example, there was a new Ofcom code on
this is not binary
in shows, which came out post 2019. So we will have incorporated that into our policies and practices. It's that type of thing. I mean,
I need a wee guide.
Fundamentally, the policies
back in a
that
sec,
we had in
all
place
right?
in 2019,
I'm going to mute my microphone.
and it would be helpful for me to give you the shape of those and those that are important here are very, very similar to what we have in place now. So we have had at ITV a code of conduct. Our code of ethics and conduct is the policy that underpins everything. Lots of policies flow from that. It's a policy that is incorporated into the contracts of everyone who works for or with ITV, employees, freelancers and others. And it sets out very clearly what our expectations are of conduct at ITV, both the conduct that we expect and the conduct that we do not tolerate. It is a very accessible policy document. It has a message from the CEO at the front, which explains why it's so important and why it's so important also to speak up if you see that there's anything going on.
That all sounds great, and we can take a look at that, I'm sure. But what I'm interested in is that you said there have been some minor changes. Are any of the changes that have happened as a result of this matter?
No. So if I could just sorry,
Carolyn,
go ahead. So no changes as a result of this matter. And the important points in some of the important points in our code of conduct, as well as absolutely setting out very, very clearly what our speaking up policy is, which I'd like to come on to, is that we do not accept any bullying or harassment, and there is zero tolerance for abuse of position. So anything and that was in place in 2016, 2019, 2021, 2023.
Okay. And there is a workplace relationship form that you now have to fill in. That started at the start of 2022. It's not a new policy in response to this at all. It was something that we updated, because we update our policies every year, as Kyla said, that we updated that, and we actually said that everybody who works at ITV has to fill in a form where they have to disclose workplace relationships, whether they are romantic or family relationships.
I see.
And we've had that in place since then.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
What do you say in response to the allegation that there was a toxic culture at this morning?
What I would say is that it's not something. Look, we take that seriously. You know, as you've heard me talk about culture, it's incredibly important to me personally, and so it deeply disappoints me. Right, but we do not recognise that in this morning, and I think the reason for that is that, you know, we have tangible evidence to tell you where the vast majority of people at daytime at this morning are extremely engaged and very motivated. It's not to say that we don't take complaints about it seriously. We've had 2 complaints in 5.
Right, I think what we're going to do now, we're going to listen to the second half tomorrow, right? Because I don't want to listen to her waffling anymore. We're now going to hear what people said about that last night. So tomorrow night, we'll do our paranormal phoning on Saturday or Sunday. Tomorrow night, we're going to do part 2, and we're going to listen to what else she said, and we're going to get some more reaction. But I want you to hear what Carol McGriffith said about this. So remember, part 2 tomorrow night, okay? So I don't think I can stomach a full night of her waffling on. But tomorrow night we will hear the other half of what she said. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to hear. Let me just get this up. Sorry. We're going to. Hang on. Ignore that. I'm just going to try and find where Carol McGriffin or whatever her name is, what she said. If I can find it. She was on Dan Wootton last night. So just bear with me, guys. I'm just going to try and grab it up now. I'm hoping the clip is up. If not, I've got to try and find it. Okay, here we go. Now, listen to this. So Carol McGriffin watched this last night. Now, listen to what she said. Again, join me tomorrow night, because tomorrow night we're going to listen to the other half, and then I will give you my thoughts on the entire thing. Thank you. But I think after an hour of her waffling on, I do think we need to hear it though, guys, because even though she's not saying much, she kind of is saying much as well. It's what she's not saying. So we need to hold these people to account. All right. So we'll listen to the rest tomorrow night. And again, I'll be breaking it down because it is under fair use. I am giving commentary. If I was just uploading the content, then not, but I'm giving commentary. But I want you to hear what Carol McGriffin had to say. So I'm just going to mute my microphone. It's only a minute and a bit. Listen to this, folks.
This was a disastrous performance today, wasn't it?
It was literally unbelievable. It's like you can't believe anything any of them says. And I don't want to call them liars, but I don't believe them. And what it says to me, Dan, is that it's all getting so complex and so complicated and so pointless. This whole Common Select Committee thing is pointless. I mean, I really don't know why the government are even getting involved. Why are they kind of giving it credibility, if you like, by calling them in and asking them stupid questions that, you know, they're not even telling the truth. They're not even telling truthful answers to. So I look at it and I think it looks to me like there's something else. There is something else. They've been covering up something else, and they're still covering up something else. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if the MPs know about it. And I think Philip, like I said on this show a couple of weeks ago, Philip is covering, I think, for them by saying he lied to everyone, he consistently lied. And then that gets them off the hook because they just say, oh, he lied. And now they're lying. And it's all getting very strange. The lawyer thing is strange. It's like, why are they working for nothing for him when Philip was paying for them? He admitted that himself. I just think there's a cover-up of a cover-up, and I think it's far bigger. So I think there is something else, and it's something maybe much, much worse than two consenting well, he was an adult at the time, but you know, no one cares about that. But this is about something else.
So you've just heard what Carol McGriffin had to say. What do you think? Because that's exactly how I feel. Take care, Sue. That is exactly how I feel. There is something being covered and being covered. There is something much, much bigger. And I think that they all know. I do think it's that David Banner. But the MPs are involved as well. They are all involved. So I just wanted to hear what Jason Gardner said. It was a quite interesting last night. Let me just see if I can find the clip. Just bear with me a minute. Dan Wootton's got Liz Truss on tonight, which I find bizarre. Now, Liz Truss's Trussonomics, which she got sacked for. Do you know, just a quick pointless fact for you. We're now spending more, this government are spending more money, borrowing more money than they would done if they followed Liz Truss's tax cuts. That's how messed up this government is. But anyway, I just sort of mentioned that. The whole lot of them are corrupt. All of them are corrupt. So I'm just going to get this up now. Jason Gardner. Let's just hang on a minute. Let's just see what Dan Wootton's got to say first. Okay, just listen to what Dan Wootton has to say.
And after weeks of refusing to face the music, ITV's uber-woke chief executive, Carolyn MacCall, the friend of Meghan Markle, who proudly purged her channel of Piers Morgan, Carol McGiffin, Eamonn Holmes, Jeremy Clarkson and Jeremy Kyle, finally had to front up and admit she did know about rumours of Philip Schofield's affair with a young runner. But like with most of those on the sanctimonious left, the same standards don't seem to apply to her mistakes when it comes to accountability. Under questioning at the Media Select Committee, which she had been compelled to attend, MacCall had to row back on ITV's own press statement that they had investigated the matter.
When did you personally first become aware of these rumours?
I really became aware of those rumours when Philip came out in February 2020. That's when, that is the first time things got really febrile. So in February 2020 is when Kevin and I spoke about it, and we actually started looking at it in December 2019. We said we need to just establish whether this is rumour and speculation and malicious, or whether there is something we need to worry about here. We had no evidence. No one brought us anything tangible, either on the production floor or from the outside. There was only hearsay and rumour and speculation. Can I please just say it was not an investigation? I wouldn't qualify this as an investigation. I think this was a review. It was an ongoing review.
The old saying, the cover-up is far worse than the crime, is true here. I mean, remember, I first told ITV of Schofield's situation and relationship with the runner in November 2019. They denied it then as malicious gossip. Then I revealed a whistleblower from This Morning had emailed MacCall details of what exactly happened directly in February 2020. So no wonder she was asked today if there had been an attempt to protect their golden goose.
You've covered that up?
No.
If one of the individuals had admitted a relationship.
Why would, no, once it is in the work.
So we haven't got to that bit yet. So that's going to be part 2 tomorrow. It looks like there's a lot more to go on the questions. I think things do get a little bit more juicy with the questions coming from the MPs. So we've done half of it tonight. I've broke it down and I've been giving you my opinion on what is going on. You've heard Carol McGriffiths. So, thank you all, Tickety Bit. It's really kind of you. What a nice thing to say. Thank you, darling. I'm never going to change. Don't worry. Hello, World Without Curves in the house. Excuse me. Welcome, everyone coming in. I'm sorry if I've missed a lot of chat tonight. Hello, Paul. How you doing? Hello, Larry Weinberg. Hello, welcome. I've been focusing on showing you that. Good night, Mrs. Roy. Thank you. So I've been on an hour and a half, so I don't want to be. I've already streamed tonight. I do stream outside in the garden of an evening if the weather's nice. If you want to join me, you can do. We just have a little chill outside. Some of the bunnies might come out, or Ninny, the guinea pig. So you know that's always that's a better time to chat with me. We have a good old chinwag because I'm not showing you stuff like this. But I think what we'll do our phone-in on Saturday or Sunday, our paranormal phone-in. I'm not sure what day because I think I'm out over the weekend. And we'll listen to tomorrow night. We'll listen to the other half of that and we'll break it down like we've done tonight. And then we'll hear what other people have got to say. We need to hold these people to account. And I'll tell you something now. I think we need to review and go back over exactly what Eamonn Holmes said, because it was a few weeks ago. And we need to listen to what he said. Now we've heard her, I think we need to go back and listen to what Eamonn Holmes said in those interviews and what Philip Schofield also said in those interviews, because there are snippets, there's stuff being said in these interviews that I think it'd be interesting to re-listen to. And I do think that this is a massive cover-up. And like Carol McGriffiths just said, or McGriffin, I don't know how you say her name, there is so much more going on. And I think we all know that at Parliament, that it's like 1 in 3 have either been convicted or accused of something to do with children. Oh, thank you, Anglo-Saxon. How kind. Thank you so much. That's so nice. So there is, yeah, I think Eamonn Holmes knows a lot. And I believe that Eamonn Holmes has also been given one of these letters. So what I've been doing, I've been redoing my Simon Schofield video. Now, again, for those people that say I've folded, they told me not to tell you. They told me to do an apology without an explanation and just remove the content. I told you what had happened, and I'm redoing my video. And the reason why I'm redoing it is I'm just being extra careful. Now we know the lawyers are watching. I'm going to be uber careful. So they cannot stop me reading an article in the public domain. So I'm going to be reading this article that is in the public domain, and I'm also going to be giving you some information of what they sent me. So this is my next video is going to be I'm going to show you some of what was in that letter. Now, they reckon they've copyrighted that letter. Bullshit. You can't copyright a letter. I haven't agreed to that letter being copyrighted. You can't send somebody a letter and say, I've copyrighted that letter, so you can't show anybody. Like, no, you sent it to me. I didn't agree to that. You know, the lies and the intimidation and the bullying. They've removed it. It was there earlier today. Can we confirm that's true? If that's true, then I can't. Hang on a minute. It was there today. It was there this evening. So if anyone can confirm, let me have a quick look now. Let me see if it's gone. It was, hold on. No, the article is here. I don't know which article you're referring to, darling, but it's still here. The article is up. You can't copyright a letter. It's bullshit. No, the article is there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be redoing my video. And I think that I've got to redo it just to make sure that I am word for word correct. Okay, word for word. So I'm going to be redoing it, and I'm also going to be dropping in a little bit of information. And some of the stuff they put in the letter, they were taking comments from you guys were leaving comments underneath my video. They've actually taken comments that you guys left and put them in the letter. They were really trying. They were really trying to sort of intimidate me. So because I wanted to like go through it all, check out the law, I've privated the videos while we check everything out, and I've made the decision to redo the video. So there will be people that will be saying, I already know this information, you've already put this out there. All I'm saying is please be supportive and rewatch it with me, because we need to do that. So we need to get the views up on that, because they want me to just disappear and not, you know, you guys don't watch anymore because you already know it. We need to show them that we are not going away. So the video will be redone, and I'll also be dropping in a little bit about the lawyers as well. So I'll show you little clips of the letter. I'll be putting that in the video, DJ Rockford. There's a bit of, I don't want to name the law firm yet, because from what I'm researching this law firm, and they've got a bit of a checkered past from what I'm seeing. So just bear with me, this law firm. Now it's looking like this law firm has got something to do with the PR company that Philip Schofield hired. I don't want to give anything away yet without doing a full deep dive. All right. So just please give me some time. I've been live twice today, so I haven't had time to finish this video. So just bear with me. I am working on the video. So I'll get that out tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, I will be, do anyone just confirm the name of the company who is representing Philip? Can someone just drop the name of it again? Was it P something? Thank you everybody for your support, but I will be redoing the video, and I think that's the PR company. Yeah, there's a name of it. Is it Phil something? So just bear with me, guys, but I am going to put it out. And I have got a video coming out on Jason Donovan as well. Thank you, Terry. PHA Group. So we need to, don't mention that Terry knows the name of the lawyers. Don't say it, Terry, please. I don't want them said yet until I've done a little bit more research. So it was PHA Group. So just bear with me. Why is my message on the screen? Yeah, it's not at the moment, sweetheart. You must be behind, love. We've got Anglo-Saxon super chat. I always show people's comments on the screen. Sometimes I leave them up for a mistake. YMU is the agent who he also had shares in. Is there any way to do a deep dive into the record shop? I have no idea. I don't know. If it depends if they kept records back then. Phil Hall is the CEO of PHA. Is that Philip Hall that used to work for the BBC? I'm just reading comments now. Has anyone's got any more questions? I'm going to end this now. It's been going over an hour now. Doesn't it go quick when I'm streaming? Time flies when you're having fun. Penny, does SS even exist, if you catch my drift? Yeah, he does. He's oh, thank you, Eye for an Eye. Yes, he is part of the Barricade Boys. Okay, and the thing is, this dude Simon Schofield doesn't want to be talked about. Well, why are you in the public domain? Why are you parading around with 3 other men, right, grown men, aged like 40? Philip Hall was editor of News as well. Thank you, Terry. You know, parading around, doing all these tours with all these men, like doing weird dances and shit. Like, I've showed you some of the photos, and then say I don't want to be talked about. You can't. Yeah, it's all online. They said it was misuse of private information. I'm going to show you this in the video. It's going to take some time to edit this down. How is it misuse of private information? Misuse of private information would be if somebody sent me a message that's private and I published it. This is all in the public domain. I've never had any dealings with Simon Schofield on a personal level. I've never had any dealings with any of these people on a personal level. So how can I misuse private information that is in the public domain? This would be laughed out of court. It would just be laughed. You know, it's just absolute Bolocks. The look of love, exactly, Tyrone. So sorry, private information, it's called the internet. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you some of this letter. We're expecting another letter from the lawyers, and I'm sorry, but I'm redoing the video just to cover my own back. There we go. Careful, Penny. Yeah, they will. So I'm going to be really careful, okay? So just bear with me. I am redoing the video. Right, okay. We're gonna do our best. Why it's difficult to find it isn't Willow Tree. If you my video, I did a deep dive on him. We have got his information as much as we can get, and I am extremely suspicious of that marriage. Okay. Thank you for the super chats. It all goes to our bunnies here, as you know. Andrew Tate thing at the Mo. Yeah, I don't really follow Andrew Tate, but there's something really when they're hounding people that you know that it's a reason. All right. And I'm going to say that you look at that photo on my community tab, they look very similar. They really do. And we found some birth records of one of our genealogists on the channel, Simon and Bethany. Their marriage is very, you know, why would you marry somebody who 9 years earlier was with a young lad and you said the look of love. Now, if my husband was with a young lad 9 years ago, I wouldn't be marrying him now. Oh, thank you so much, Lizzie. How kind. Thank you, darling, for the $2.99 Australian dollars. I love Jason Donovan. I love him and David Jason. I love them both. So there you go. Right, volume fine now, says Wayne. Right, guys, I'm going to get off. I want to say thank you again to all the moderators, to our members, to all of you for your support. I really, really appreciate you guys. Oh, Anglo-Saxon, that's 3 now. Oh, thank you so much, mate. Oh, thank you. How kind. Thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow. And why is Joe McGreevy director of photography on the Two-Face vids? Don't know. It's weird, isn't it? That's the dad, that. Joseph McGreevy is the dad. That's what they will claim. Well, that's why I'm going to stick to the article, Terry. I'm going to redo the video with the article, because the article's still up. It is still up. Okay, guys, take care. Have a nice evening, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Lots of love. God bless. And we must protect the children, guys. Always. Night, night. Lots of love.